Welcome back, everyone. So this is another Flowlab tutorial, and now I'm going to show you some key and door mechanics. So I'd like to show you two techniques if it doesn't take too long. So the scenario is we want the character to be able to collide with a key, pick up a key, and then a door then becomes unlockable and animates its opening so that the player knows that they can go in there. All right, so let's jump in. Let's go ahead and click to create both the key and the door. Does not matter which order you do it in. I'm going to use the pre-made assets from Flowlab. So just scroll on down, and again, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be a key. It could be a crystal. It could be anything. But we'll go ahead and we'll do that. So make sure you name the type over here as key. We want that to be that's important. We're going to go down here to physics, and I'm going to check off is solid, but I'm going to make sure that I check on enable collisions. Again, we don't want it to be a solid object like your character can walk up against it like it's a wall, but we do want them to be able to come in contact with it and then have code happen. So enable collisions is important. Okay, so there's the key there, and we'll just place it right there. Let's go ahead now and create the door. And I'll just grab this closed door right here. Okay, so now that I've got the closed door there, we want to go ahead and make an animation. So I'm going to click over here on the left and click on the animation tool, pick animation, create new animation, and let's just call this door open. And then it's only going to have one frame, but it's not going to be a closed frame. It's going to be the open frame. Okay? And then press OK. And so now we've got that there. So press OK. All right. And I'll go ahead and I'll just put it right over here just so we can see it. All right, so now we've got our two objects in here. Let's go ahead and set them up. So I'm going to click on the key, edit, and go to behaviors. From here, we want to start off with a collision trigger. Click on it, and we're going to set the type to player. Press OK. We now want the key to be destroyed, so we're going to go to the components category, destroyer, and so that way when the character collides with the key disappears. Now we're going to bring in a brand new block, and this is the message block, and it's really cool and really powerful, and thanks to Flowlab, it's quite easy. So we're going to stay inside the components category, and here's message right here. And so when the character collides, when the player collides with the key, it's going to destroy the key, but it's also going to send out a message. So if I click on this, this is where you title the message. And it can be pretty much anything you want. You want it to be simple, but it is case sensitive. So I'm going to go ahead and call this unlock. But notice that I'm using a capital U. That part does matter. If you use a lowercase u, it won't work. So please, and if you misspell something, that's going to matter. So just double check that there. And you'll see that there's a bunch of different options here. We're going to actually leave it to this option here. It's the most popular one. Choose objects to send to. And we're going to click on send type, and we're going to actually send the message to the door. Okay, so that makes sense. Click on OK. OK. All right, so now we're going to go to the door and set up the door. Go to Edit, Behaviors. All right, so now for the door, we want a collision trigger that's also with the type is set to player. And we want to be able to receive the message that we just created. Okay, so to receive the message, this is very cool. Over here under triggers, we have a mailbox block. And so other apps have message ways of sending messages. This one's really cool. It's very easy to understand because they use the whole message and mailbox. analogy. Think of the message sending out, that's sort of the mouth that's shouting out, hey, this happened, the door is unlocked. And then think of the mailbox almost as the ear, right? It's receiving the information, it hears the information. And so then there you go. So you want to click on the mailbox and you want to type in the message that it is listening for or that it's going to receive in the mailbox. So I'm going to type in unlock. And remember, this is where it is case sensitive. So make sure you type in uppercase or lowercase, and then there we go. All right, so what happens when it receives the message? We want it to play the animation of the door opening. So that's under Properties, Animation. And we want to hook up, we want to go from the mailbox to the start input on the animation. And we're going to click on the animation block. There's only one animation, door opening. And then there's an option here that says stay on last frame when done. There's only one frame in our animation, and that's where the door is open. We want the door to stay open. If you don't check this off, it can go back to the door being closed. So I'm going to say OK there. All right, so next, the next action we want to have happen is once the animation plays, we want to be able to go to the next level. We haven't really created the next level, but we'll do that next. So we want a next level block. So we're going to go down here to Game Flow, next level. And we don't have a next level yet. So let's quickly press OK and jump out of here and create a new level. So we're going to go down here to Game Levels. We're going to create a brand new level. So new level. Just call it level 2. And I'll go ahead and give it some kind of a color here. Great. And we'll say OK. All right. So now I'll go back to the door. And so now the next level that it's going to go to is going to be level 2. Okay. So we need something else in between here to control all of this, and that's a switch block. So we're going to go to, let's see, yeah, logic and math. So we go to logic and math and we go to a switch block. Because when the player collides, we don't want it to just go to the next level. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to go from the collision block to the input on switch. Then we're going to go from the on input up here to the mailbox. Okay? Then we're going to go from the output of the switch to the go input on next level. So now that means that when the collision happens with the player, it's going to go into the switch. It's then going to switch the switch on, which then receives the message from the mailbox, hey, I'm unlocked. It then plays the animation, and then we go to the next level. Okay, so it's actually a pretty complex little series of events, all happening really nice and easily. So let's take a look and see if it works. Okay, so you can see that the door is closed, and no matter what we do, I can touch the door, but it won't unlock. Okay, when I get the key, you'll see that the door then animates open. I just died. I can open the door again, and there we go. So I've navigated to the next level. Now that I'm on the next level, I might as well go ahead and just put in a couple of blocks here, real simple like. There we go. Okay. If you don't know how to go from level to level in the editor, you just go here to Game Levels and then click on Load when you want to get back there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just remove this block here just so it's easier. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and change this. Instead of it, in its physics, instead of it being solid, I'm going to have it be enable and uncheck that there. Oops. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. You can see now it's, there we go, and now I'm on the other level. Okay, good. I'm going to go ahead and set up the second scenario. It's going to make this tutorial a little bit longer, but I think it's going to be well worth it. All right, this last scenario is going to involve a door that's over here, kind of like a trap door, and the player has to collide with a switch. And when the player collides with the switch, the door will then animate up like a castle door going up or going down like a drawbridge or something like that. So let's go ahead and create the two objects needed. So first one I'll create is the switch. And again, this doesn't have to be a switch. It could be a key. It could be anything you want. So again, I'm going to use the pre-made assets. And I'm going to do the switch here in the off position. Then I'm going to go create an animation. And I'll just call this switch on. And then I'll change it to the on state. Okay, good. I'll change the physics to enable collisions, but is not solid. Okay. I like to give rectangular collision shapes. I find that that's the most common. Okay, so now I'll go in and I'll create the door. So I'm going to call this blocker door. And I'll just go ahead and choose, I'll choose this one right here. I'll choose that one there because it kind of looks a little bit like a drawbridge. Then I'm going to go to animation, and I need to create a brand new animation, and this is going to be the door going up. Door up. Okay, so that's the first frame there. I'm going to go ahead and click on the little plus button to add a frame, and then I'm going to come over here and click on this tool here. This is the move tool. It's a four-way arrow, and I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to move it up about 2 tiles worth. It's a little tough to see, but it's 2 pixels worth. So you can see it happening up there. Then I'm going to add another one. And when you add another frame, it leaves the tool and goes back to the pencil tool. So you have to go back to the same moving tool. And again, I'll just go up another 2 just to make it nice and even. Add another frame and rinse and repeat. And I'm just doing it 2 each time, each frame, just so it's nice and even. Almost there. And we'll do one more frame. Okay, so on this last frame, I want it to be gone, so I can just simply take the eraser tool and go ahead and erase all this out. And there we go. You can see up here at the top, the door is going upwards. Click OK. And we'll click OK. All right, so I think we're ready to set it up. So I'll click back on the switch. Let's see. Yep, my collisions are good. Oops. Go to edit, behaviors. Okay, so I want a collision trigger, and the collision is going to be with the player. And then it's going to send out a message to the door. So let's see, proponents. I'm still getting used to where everything exists. Components. Okay, so it's in the components, and here's the message block. Hook them up. So we want this to be, we'll call this open up. Again, remember this is case sensitive, so if you use a capital letter, you got to remember what that is. I'll go here and I'll send the message to my blocker door. You can also, if you want to be careful, let's see if we can copy and paste it. So I'm going to select all this for the message, and on my keyboard I'm going to press Command C. You can do Control C if you're on a Mac or sorry, Control C if you're on a Windows or a Chromebook. Say OK, and OK. Now for the door, do Edit, Behaviors. So this one we do want a mailbox trigger, real simple. Click on it. Let's paste it. Yeah, so it pastes. So if you're not the best speller in the world, use copy and paste. It's great. And then we want it to basically play the animation. So let's see, components, properties, there we go, animation. All right, and we'll just have it go to the start. There's only one animation, but we do want it to stay on the last frame because we want the door to stay in an up position. Okay, moment of truth. All right, so we go ahead, get this, the door is locked, touch it, and you can see that it actually goes. What didn't happen though is that the switch didn't fire, so we need to go back and edit that. Okay, so we can see what the problem is here. I just forgot to play the animation. So I'm going to go here to Properties, Animation. Should have had both. Okay, and we'll say, yep, switch on, and we'll say stay on the last frame. Okay, so that's it. All right, so now press the switch, the door opens up, animation, which is nice, and you can see that it does that. Now it looks like each time we do hit the switch, it does repeat it over again. So yeah, I'll have to see what fixes that. It's not the worst thing in the world. I'm not sure what the fix is right off the bat, but yeah, it's a little bit of a minor error. All right, everyone, I hope this helps you out and you get 2 really cool, fun ways to create a key locked door scenario. I will see you next time, and thanks for stopping by.